Shalom Akim, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabbat Shem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salute to you sincere brothers and sisters out there of the Hope for the Elect. Alright? I'm just going to play this little clip right here real quick from this ad that I know you brothers and sisters are tired of seeing, man. Alright? These gutter rats.
Hey, yo!
We want to introduce you to the most amazing destinations in the world.
Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. It's young,
Sunny,
colorful,
diverse. It's balagan, messy, and above all,
it's incredibly tasty.
Tel Aviv beaches are the best.
Tel Aviv and Jerusalem have the most amazing nightlife.
Jerusalem, the heart of the world, where all people come together. A spiritual adventure with 3,000 years of amazing history. See you here soon.
We love you. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem.
Book your trip now.
Alright, there you have it, man. Got these goddamn gutter rats in the Holy Land. Okay? So the Holy Land has become a rat's nest, so to speak. Alright? Because the true inhabitants of that land don't actually occupy that land today, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And you got these Edomites in our land. Alright? And I'm going to prove that through the scriptures. You know, and you can see them. They a bunch of soulless bastards, man. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the nightlife, and all this bullshit they saying in that ad, man. And they just trying to promote that shit everywhere, man. It seems like every YouTube video I turn on, that same corny ass ad pops up, man. Nobody wants to go out there, man, to that fucking war-torn rat's nest of a fucking land that you goddamn devils and stole, man. Okay? That's not a damn a tourist destination, man. But they trying to make it a tourist destination. Okay? And the only people that really go out there is a bunch of homosexuals and freaks, man. Alright? That's the only people that really go out there to Tel Aviv, because that's called Pink City. Okay? But let's see what the scriptures talk about. How it describes the land of Israel today. Alright? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 1. It says, "Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord." It's talking about the land of Israel. Okay? Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. Alright? You got the Ashkelon, got the Gaza Strip. You got the West Bank out there. Okay? The whole land of Israel, man. You know, it's basically inhabited by people who don't belong in that land, who are not the true occupants or the true inhabitants of that land. That land wasn't promised to the people that occupy that place today. All right? But this is what the Lord said about the land of Israel, man. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession." All right? And that's what you see. Who's the enemy? The so-called white man. Okay? I don't care whether he's calling himself a Jew, whether he's calling himself an Israeli, whether he's calling himself an Englishman or an American. Okay? He's a goddamn Edomite, and he's the enemy of the Most High. They're all one and the same. There's no differentiation between the so-called Jew and the rest of these so-called white people, man. All right? They're all Edomites. They come from the nation of Edom. They're all brothers that come from the same line. Okay? There's different tribes of them, but nonetheless, they all spring forth from the man Esau, who is the enemy of the Most High. All right? It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession." Yeah, what are the ancient high places? It's talking about the Holy Land. All right? The land of our ancestors, our fathers. Okay? I know a lot of you jakes out there, you believe that you come from Africa. You think that Africa is the motherland, but when you read Galatians, the 4th chapter and 26th verse, it tells you that Jerusalem, which is free and is above all, and is the which is free and above, is the mother of us all. That's the motherland. That's the true motherland. Okay? All right? Not no goddamn Africa. We didn't come from Africa. All right? We came from the Middle East. We came from Jerusalem, which is the land of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? So get off that Pan-African bullshit, that Kemetic madness, and that Egyptian nonsense, man. All right? And come back to the truth. All right? Our true heritage is found and recorded in the Holy Bible. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. But the so-called white man, they said, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. All right, so they're rejoicing over the fact that they possess the land of Israel today. You've seen it in the commercial. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, you know, we have an exciting nightlife and beautiful beaches and all this bullshit, man. All right, so they're sitting there trying to promote the Holy Land as a tourist destination, man. Okay, you know, and a lot of scholars go there. You know, a lot of archaeologists and scholars go there to study in that land. You know, basically, to dig up artifacts and to compare history, archaeological history, with the Holy Scriptures. You know, which it always proves it right anyway. Okay. But this being that they got the land in their possession, and when they do these archaeological digs and find that it does coincide with what the Bible says, what do? They suppress that truth. You know, they keep it hidden. They don't push it out there on the forefront. All right, because they want you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and mainly the whole world, to just continue on believing that the Bible is a metaphorical book, it's mythological, and that there's no true substance in it. Okay. Of any real value. You know, they always put the question mark out there: is God real? And is the stories found written in the Bible, are they real stories? Or are they just a bunch of allegories? Okay? So that's what these devils do, man. The Lord said, therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people. Okay, yeah, the so-called white man, they basically took over that land. Them so-called Jews, them gutter rats. All right, and when you do the history on how they acquired that land, you know, with the Balfour Declaration, okay, after World War I, okay, and I gotta say it, you know what I'm saying, with the Holocaust, which basically gained sympathy for those rats to move into that land. Okay, all right. Now, if I was to sit there and say that didn't really happen and whatever, they might shut this channel down, this particular video down. Might get a strike or whatever, you know. But you and I know the truth. The truth is basically coming out there, man. All right, you know. And then on top of that, they gained that whole land by committing terrorism, man. Straight up terrorism. Okay. You know, look at the first prime minister of Israel, David Ben Gurion, okay, and the shit that he used to do. Menachem Begin, which Menachem Begin even stated himself that he's the father of terrorism. All right, you got to do some research, man. Do some research on the IDF, which basically stemmed from the Stern Gang, okay, which was Abraham Stern, which was basically a terrorist. A group of terrorists that terrorized that land. Okay? They terrorized the Arabs, which the Arabs don't belong in that land either, but they also committed acts of war against Britain by blowing up the SS Patria. And also Israel is the only country that really attacked the United States without any consequences by blowing up the USS Liberty warship. Okay? They sunk the USS Liberty warship during the time of the 6-Day War between Egypt and Israel. Do some research, man. And you'll see that these gutter rats are not the real people of the Lord. They didn't acquire that land according to the prophecy that's found written in the scriptures. Okay? But they are fulfilling this prophecy about the infamous people that were going to take or possess that land, and the enemy of the Most High, of the people who was going to take that land. Okay? It reads on to say, therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate waste, and into the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Okay, so the Lord is going to judge the whole land of Israel. The land of Israel is going to be destroyed, man. All right, you know, because when you really look at it and see all of these wars that are being fought throughout the world, all these roads lead back to Israel, and that's a fact, man. You know? You know, they're saying all roads lead back to Rome. Well, America is modern day Rome, but who's America being controlled by? The welfare state of Israel. The scriptures tell you that the least of the flock is going to draw them out. Who's the least of the flock? The land of Israel. Okay? They're going to draw America into World War III, in which America is going to be destroyed. And guess what? Israel is going to be destroyed right along with America. Okay? And I'm going to read that. I got a scripture on that. It reads on to say, it said, I'm going to read this part again. It says, therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains, to the governments in Israel, or the land, the terrain of the land of Israel, and to the hills, to the rivers, to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken. Yeah, because that land is a mass desert, man. When you really look at it, everything in there is artificial. All right, the vegetation, which is the kibbutz, is all artificial, man. Okay, when the righteous people was dwelling in that land was plush. That's the Garden of Eden. When you read in the book of Genesis, man. Okay, where Adam used to dwell at, where Eve used to dwell at. Okay, it was plush land filled with vegetation. It was a fruitful place, but now it's all deserted, man. Okay, the cities have been forsaken by who? Namely, the holy people. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true occupants or the true inhabitants of that land. Rightfully so. That's our birthright, man. That land was promised to our fathers from the Most High himself, going all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? It says, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. So the people who dwell in that land today are a bunch of heathens, man. Okay? It's a goddamn a fucking rat's nest. All right? Or you goddamn gutter rats, you Khazars, man. Okay? Then you got the Arabs in that land calling themselves Palestinians. All right? When you check out the word Palestine, it really goes back to the Philistines. The Philistines were black. They weren't Israelites, but they were actual Africans. Okay? That the nation of Israel used to go to war with. Case in point, King David went to war with Goliath. All right? Goliath was a Philistine. The giant Goliath, in which our King David slung a stone right through his goddamn forehead. Okay? Well, guess what? That was a big, giant fucking African who was a Philistine that King David actually killed and chopped his head off. Okay? That wasn't no goddamn Arab. All right? The Arabs aren't even the true Palestinians. But yet they dwell in that land. Okay? So you got these so-called Jews in that land. You got these Arabs in that land. You got you got all these heathens in there, man. The Falasha Jews, which is the Ethiopians. Okay? Because you so-called Negroes, our people were not Ethiopians, man. Okay? We don't act like Ethiopians. We don't vibe with Ethiopians. We damn sure don't get along with Ethiopians, man. Okay? So stop all that bullshit about jumping on the jock of these goddamn Africans, man. They are not our people. They are not our people. Just because they got dark skin, that doesn't mean that they're the same people as us, man. Damn, when you niggas gonna wake up, man? All right? It reads on to say, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. All right? Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. So it's showing you that the Edomites are in that land today. Okay? And I showed you in that video, in that ad that you constantly see when you click on these YouTube videos, or anybody that monetize their videos, that goddamn commercial for Israel keeps popping up, man. Tel Aviv, Tel Aviv. And the stupid bitch with the pink head, she can't even dance. She's all jacked up and stupid. Okay? With that soulless rat bastard that's with her. All right, sitting there advertising the land of Israel like it's a tourist destination, man. Trying to generate revenue for that welfare state. All right, but the Lord ain't dealing with them, man. And those are Edomites. Those are so-called white boys. All right. It says, which have appointed my land into their possession. Yeah, they possess the land of Israel today. They run the land of Israel lock, stock, and barrel, man. All right, and you can see how they progressed in that land from the early 1900s into modern day times, man. In the early 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, it was just specks, little pockets of them goddamn gutter rats in that land. Okay? But then after World War II, them devils started coming over there. They basically being forced into that land by the masses, which basically was started through what you call Zionism. All right? What you call modern day Zionism. When they was kicking the so-called Jews out of Europe and forcing them to stay in the land of Israel. All right? That's what Zionism, modern day Zionism basically is. Okay? It's all about its support of a homeland for the so-called Jews in the land of Israel. All right? You know? And that's what the blowing up of the SS Patriot was all about, man. Okay? Was giving them gutter rats leeway to come into the land of Israel today. All right? So they got it in their possession. It says, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. And that's what they do, because all they do is commit all kind of sins out there in the land of Israel. They're not keeping the holy laws of the Heavenly Father in the land of Israel. You got nude beaches out there in Tel Aviv and out there in Israel. No, you got Tel Aviv is also known as Pink City, one of the largest homosexual parades out there. Okay? All right? Jerusalem is split into 4 quarters. You know, you got a Muslim quarter, so there's a bunch of idolatry going on out there in the land of Israel and Jerusalem, man. So they cast the land out for a prey. All right? Because they're not the true inhabitants that's supposed to be in that land. All right? This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 6. It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Okay, where's Ashdod located at? In the land of Israel. And you seen that bastard. You seen that bastard and that fucking gutter rat bitch sitting there talking about, oh, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and all of that bullshit, man. Okay? So the real inhabitants that belong in that land are what? Trapped here in America. Which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Stuck in the damn ghettos, stuck on the reservations, stuck in the barrios. Okay? All jacked up on public assistance and welfare, gunning each other down in the streets left and right, man. Okay? So you jigs gotta wake up, man. This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 4. And I'm gonna end it with this. It says, for Gaza shall be forsaken. You know where Gaza is at. You always hear about Gaza in the news. Right? Always going to war with the Gaza Strip. It says, for Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. These are all cities located in Israel. And the Lord is going to destroy that land via thermonuclear destruction, just like he's going to destroy America. The only thing about that, the difference between America and Israel is that Israel is going to be built back up, and it's going to be occupied by the true inhabitants, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, according to the Bible. All right? It says, woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, and there shall be no inhabitant. So all them gutter rats, that whole fucking rat's nest that we call the land of Israel today, is going to be destroyed. All right? The land of Canaan, the land of the Philistines, where you get the modern day word Palestine from. It's all going to be destroyed. The Lord said he's going to destroy it. It says, in the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. So after the Lord destroys the land of Israel, all right, the sea coast is going to be a dwelling and cottages for shepherds and folds of flocks. Talking about what? The real inhabitants of that land, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because the Lord is going to bring us back into that land. He's going to join us back together as a holy nation. Okay? It ain't going to be no more animosity and hatred towards you so-called Negroes hating the Puerto Ricans and Puerto Ricans hating the Dominicans and the Mexicans hating so-called black people. It ain't going to be no more of that shit, man. No more division amongst the tribes, man. The Lord is going to bring us back in unity. He's going to place us back in that land. It reads on. It says, in the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah, right? Which is you so-called Negroes. They shall feed thereupon. In the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening. For the Lord their power shall visit them and turn away their captivity. Okay? Yeah, man. So the Lord is going to bring us back. He's going to deliver his elect out of America. And he's going to bring us back down into the Holy Land. All right? But them inhabitants that's in there today, they got to be exterminated, man. Okay? All right? The Lord is going to exterminate them, man. Drop a goddamn bomb on that fucking rat's nest. Okay? So I'm going to end this video on that note. Say Shalom, Baba Rakim to you brothers out there. Hopefully you were edified. Lord willing, I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.